goes live in 2 minutes. Lynn Cullen live in 1 minute. Welcome to Lynn Cullen Live at pghcitypaper.com. Email your questions and comments to Lynn at pghcitypaper.com.
Why, hello there. How you doing? Welcome to the program. Usually Tom Sokolowski's joining us on Thursday, but he is in Hong Kong at a big art shindig there. And will be with us next Thursday. So it's just you and me today. Excuse me. And awful lot of news going on in the world. I ain't a mind reader, so I'm not exactly sure what interests you. If you have a topic you want to get aired, let me know. You can either call, as you know, or you can email Lynn at pghcitypaper.com. Sorry. Okay, I'm just going to start with a few, observations. Do I say that a lot? I don't think I say a lot. I have other annoying verbal tics, but that's not usually one. So, I have a question. I've had this question before. You guys are usually pretty good at answering these questions I have. Although you have yet to answer the question of why do people walk in the street in this town when there's a sidewalk available? That has not one of you has taken a hit at that. Okay, here's my new one. For years and years, a long time ago, I would see these sort of oval-shaped stickers put on the back of people's cars with letters on them, usually 3 letters. The one you see a lot around here is OBX. Yeah. And for a long time, I could not for the life of me figure out what the heck that was. Well, I do now know OBX is Outer Banks. So, and others are for other towns generally, I guess, in which people spend summer vacations. Now, never mind that it strikes me as odd that you choose to advertise where you spend your summer vacation. I mean, that of all the things you do in your life, that's what you're willing to append to the back of your car. Like, I'm unclear about why you would do that, but anyway, a lot of people do. Just in the last month, I think, I've been seeing other things popping up on the backs of cars, and these are not numbers. These are not letters. These are numbers. And they always have a decimal point, it seems. So I can't remember what the numbers are. I think I've seen the same one a few times, but it's like, 37.2. That's not the number, I'm sure. I saw one the other day. It was 17 point something. What the heck is that? When I saw a sort of high one, I thought, are they showing off like how much mileage their car gets? What is that? Does anyone know? And I cannot be the only one who's been seeing these. And now that I've mentioned it to you, you will start seeing them. Oh, we have a call, thank God. Okay, caller, put me out of my misery. What is that?
Okay, when you see the 26.2, that means it's for the marathon. They ran a marathon.
Oh, 26.2. So the 17 or whatever I saw the other day, 14, 13 something, was they ran a half marathon.
Probably, yeah.
Oh, thank you. So I don't have to obsess about this anymore.
Okay, you're welcome, Lynn.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
God, bye. Thank you so much. Well, I can see wanting to let people know that you pulled that off. However, you're not letting people know if I don't know what the heck those numbers mean. On the other hand, there's something nice about the subtlety of it so that it's not obnoxious. Like, hey, I ran the marathon, whatever. It always blows me away what people choose to put on their vehicles. I have rarely put anything. I always love to see those ampersand, ampersands and that's because, and you have to figure those drive non-Pittsburghers crazy. What the hell? I keep seeing all these people driving around with an N and an ampersand. What the heck is that? Well, we know. And that was the brainchild of, I don't know if you're still in the audience, Jeff, of one of our long time listeners and contributors to this program, Annette. Okay, great. Well, God, we're doing well then. Also, speaking of numbers, man, check out the sports section and check out the standings. It's just mind-blowing because in 21 years, 22 years, 23 years, I don't know how long, you have not seen such numbers after Pirates. We're in the 600s, guys. There are only, what did I count? 4 teams with better records in all of Major League Baseball. And unfortunately, 2 of them are in our same division, right? You call it that. We got, between the Cardinals and the Reds. God. But the 3 of us are 3 of the most powerful teams. Just wonderful to see. Gotta see it. And what a blowout by the Pens last night, although they started in a nervous-making kind of a way. And that's my sports report. A little peeve. I have mentioned before the paper, Post-Gazette, that is, on Thursdays, has this random acts of kindness thing on page 2. And this is a compilation of things that people send in which they tell us all about something wonderful that has happened to them, thus showing us that there is good in humanity. We have a caller. Hello.
Hello, Lynn.
Yes.
Hi, good morning. This is Jason calling from Westfield. I think you already had a caller explaining to you the numbers.
Yes.
Okay. Well, here's one that always interests me, too, that I'm noticing a lot lately, is the stickers that people place on their windows. Mostly it's usually SUVs or vans that has a picture of like a male and a female and a dog and a cat. Or have you seen those?
Oh, yes. And I think those are a little absurd, too. What do you think of those? What's your reaction?
Well, I saw one the other day. It blew me away. It was a picture of a lady. You can tell that it was a female.
Yeah.
And had about 12 cats.
Oh.
Cat.
Now that's funny. So that was a cat lady.
It was. It was. I was trying to take my phone out and take a picture, but it was too late. And but I think it's all fun and games. When when my youngsters were young, they used to play stickers all over the windows of my van, and I can see how it can easily become something of an obsession for some people. And I think it's total. Mentioning places that you've been, and we had stickers all over one of the vehicles. And I just thought it was something fun. I just wanted to share that with you.
Hey, see if you. Speaking of bumper stickers, there's one that I've seen all my life, and it blows me away. And I don't understand why this. I could Google it. Why somebody would put a drugstore on? It says Wall Drug. Have you ever seen? What is that?
I've seen it. It's a Wall Drug out west, and it's to me it's more of a marketing ploy. There's always, you see hundreds of billboard signs, Wall Drugs, 500 miles away, and then you see the ones that say 200 miles away, then 100 miles away, and you start seeing them like every 8 months. Then when you get to this,
what is it?
It's a large
drugstore. That's all it is.
That's all it is.
But my God,
it's way out in the middle of nowhere. It's a tourist attraction. And I believe it's somewhere in Wyoming or somewhere out in that area, maybe Montana. But it's one of those side roads attractions that people, I guess, like to know that. But want other people to know that they've been there.
Jeez, thank you. You are a fount of information. Thank you.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, bye. My son reacts in a ridiculously over-the-top, annoyed manner to the ones with the families, the little sketches. You do too, Jess? You hate them. Why? But I don't understand why.
I don't care.
They're annoying. Oh, I see. So it's part of that. Hey, I'm sitting behind you. I don't care if you have 2 children, a dog, and a cat. And why do you have? Is that your reaction? But so, okay. The stupidest bumper stickers of all time, which I used to go nuts about, are Baby on Board. Baby on Board. That was the one that made me want to punch whoever put that on. Like, what does that mean? Oh, I'm sorry, baby on board? Then I won't rear-end you. I mean, what does that mean? Jeez. Okay, so anyway, random acts of kindness. And we've talked before how, generally speaking, it's women who send these in. I don't know what's wrong with you guys. I do know the person who compiles these, Gary Rothstein, and he has said they look for men's because men don't, I guess, take the time to tell people about something wonderful that's happened. Anyway, what got me today is it was a lovely story about a man and a woman who wanted to join the crowd outside the Consol Energy Center to watch on the big screen the Penguin. I suspect it was a Penguin Islander game. And that's all they were expecting. But they're standing, I guess, in line to enter the fenced-off area where you do that. And a man and a woman walked up to her and her husband and asked if they were looking for tickets. And they said, no, we're not. We can't afford tickets. We're just going to want to be here. And they said, well, we have 2 extra tickets. And they thought, oh, my God. But they said, well, how much would they cost? And they said, oh, no. We were looking. We didn't want the scalpers to get them. We were looking for 2 nice-looking people who we thought might enjoy the game. It's just, here's 2 tickets. So that's the nice thing that happened. And that's a very nice thing, right? Very nice thing. But here's the part of the woman's very nice random act of kindness piece that made me go a little nuts. And I just want to, and I've gone nuts on this subject before, but let me do it again just one more time because it makes me crazy. So she gets done with all of this. Blah, 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 my ticket angel, oh my gosh, we have had a rough couple of years, like a lot of folks, and this really helped renew our spirit. Okay, then she says, Western Pennsylvania truly is a special place. And I'm proud to call it home. Okay. Can we stop this geographicizing, or whatever you would call it, of human goodness? Or, pluckiness, or in this case, kindness and generosity. It has nothing to do with Western Pennsylvania. It has everything to do with the two people who gave you those tickets. That could have happened, I hate to tell you, in Eastern Pennsylvania. It could have happened in Paducah. It could have happened in Sarasota. It could have happened in Sacramento. I go on and on and on. People are people. Pittsburghers don't have some claim beyond other people to being nice, helpful, kind, and generous. Nor do the people of Moore, Oklahoma are pluckier than anybody else. And, that's what we're hearing now. Wherever a tragedy strikes, then you hear it. People of Oklahoma, we're Oklahomans. And it doesn't matter. We're New Jerseyans, and we this, and we're Bostonians, and and guys, stop it! Please stop it. It isn't going to stop. It isn't. So what is it? What drives that? Clearly some basic, primitive human need to believe that you are part of something that is a special group, a special tribe. And in times when something extraordinary happens, either good, as in the hockey ticket story, or horrific, as in Moore, Oklahoma, Boston, maybe there's just this need to believe that something that the people to whom it is happening have a special, I don't know. Why do you have to do that? What is the point of that? Why can't it be, instead of Western Pennsylvania truly is a special place, that people are really capable of wonderful things? And it has nothing to do with the plot of real estate they're inhabiting. Nothing. Please stop it. You're annoying me. Granted, it doesn't take much, but you're annoying me. Okay, I know there's heavy things to talk about, but God, give me a break. Be generous, Western Pennsylvanians, and realize that I just can't every day talk about all the horrific, incendiary, frightening. I called my mother yesterday and she said, Oh, I'm reading the Wall Street Journal. There's this terrifying story about this new virus from Saudi Arabia. I said, Mom, stop reading it. Anything that makes you that nervous, I didn't say you're almost 91. Don't worry, something's going to get you relatively soon, if it's the virus or the whatever. I mean, come on, relax. I said, let us younger folks worry about these things. You've earned a pass. So I have to admit, I have not read the virus story. I saw it in my peripheral vision, corner of my eye, that another scary virus is on the loose. And then if you see, a few paragraphs down, potential pandemic kinds of, people start talking pandemic, and you want to, the phrase going viral, which we think has to do with stuff on the internet. No, going viral has to, initially and at base is about, I suppose, pandemics. Pandemics are really going viral. All right, so let me just check the email, see if any of you want anything in particular. And it appears not. So you are at my, it appears you are at my mercy. PJ wrote about Wall Drug. What a smart gimmick that is then for some And he gave me a picture of it, and he said it's just kind of a roadside wonder. But wow, they've been up to that forever. Because I remember seeing Wall Drug when I was like, I think a kid, and wondering, what the hell is Wall Drug? And I mean, if it's sitting in the midst of like Wyoming, which is larger than probably every European country almost, why would you make a beeline to this one little outpost? It's pretty big. Wall Drug Store. How funny. Okay, Colette writes, I love them. Okay, she has sent me a picture of the stick figures that you put on the back of your car so people can know about your family. I guess it's for people who want the car behind them, the inhabitants of the car behind them, to know them in some way, to say, I am a person who belongs to a family that looks like this. And that, too, might be a very primitive need, right? Human need. But Colette has sent me, I love these. Now, those I can see putting on. They are making now zombie stickers so that you can put the family look like zombies. Oh. Would that annoy you too, Jess? If somebody did that, because some of these there's like a little boy in a baseball cap with half his leg gone, and he's like this. Would you think that was funny? You still wouldn't laugh. She still wouldn't laugh.
I laugh.
Ha ha ha. Okay. All right.
Get over yourself.
All right. Get over yourselves. Oh, well then, if that's the case, then the most egregious one you can have is, my child is an honor student at, right? Right. I have to admit, I find those tacky.
And my other child is a golden retriever.
And my other child is a golden retriever? Yeah. Or, the ones that say, I heart German Shepherds or something. And I think, well, you are effing screwball.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you do, but why do you want to advertise that? It's bizarre. Well, you see, Jess and I have pinched hearts. We're nasty people. Yeah. And I want to say that's why I know that Western Pennsylvania has no, come on. We're here, right? We're Western Pennsylvanians. We wouldn't help anybody. We wouldn't give any free tickets away. Actually, I've done that.
I probably would.
Yeah, I have. I've done that at a pirate game. And it felt good. Oh, does that feel good to do? Here, in you go. Right. And it is, you feel like God when you're looking around. Whose day are you going to make? Okay. Good Lord. Okay. Time to take I have one more thing I just have to say. So the Post-Gazette prints all the results of all the elections that were held yesterday, in this sort of numbing fine print. Every little bailiwick, every ward. And listen to this. Boy, is this an example of democracy gone to hell. Norwin. Now, Norwin. We know where Norwin is, right? Near North Huntington. It's like North Huntington.
In
Irwin. Norwin, I don't know what the population of Norwin is. What do you think? Maybe about 3,000. Something. Yeah. It's small, but there are people there.
Yeah.
Norwin. I know it. Okay, so they had a Democratic. They were. I assume this is like their county, their Norwin council or something. And first of all, this shows the end of our system, in that I just noticed that all the potential Democrats that are running, and there's about 10 of them, are the exact same names as all of the Republicans running. Now, that's called cross-filing. So that everybody who ran, and there's just 2 women, I'm always looking at those, and the rest are all guys, I guess got enough Democrats to sign their papers and enough Republicans to sign their papers to end up on both ballots. Strikes me as bizarro. Whatever. Anyway, that's the way things are done in Western Pennsylvania, where we do things right. Because we're special. So they have the whole total, the totals for every person. And this is with 100% of all votes counted. And let me give you just the Democratic results, okay? I know you don't know these names, but let me give them to you. Brandon Ames, 0. That's embarrassing, huh? It means he didn't even vote for himself. Okay. Gary Brozick, 0. Robert Eagleson, 0. Becky Gediminskas. You're ahead of me, aren't you? 0. Al Lynn, 0. Del Nolfi, 0. Jerry O'Donnell, 0. Don Rhodes, 0. John Russo, 0. And Barbara Viola, 0. Those are the Democratic candidates. Not one vote for any of them. So, what? Okay, so that means not one Democrat showed up to vote in Norwin. Not one. Now, here's the part that blows me away. So then some did show up for the Republicans. And wow, what a stampede this must have been. You don't want to be a Norwin poll watcher because it could get dangerous. Republicans. Brandon Ames, 3.
Oh my God.
Gary Brozick, 1. Robert Eagleson, 2. Becky, 3. Al Lynn, 0. Del Nolfi, 0. Jerry O'Donnell, 0. Which means all 3 of those people didn't vote for themselves. They didn't vote in the Democratic, and they didn't vote in the Republican. They didn't vote for themselves. Well, why are you running? Al Lynn, Del Nolfi Jr., and Jerry O'Donnell. Duh? Okay, then Don Rhodes, 3, John Russo, 2, and Barbara Viola, 1. The person who won got 3 votes. That's democracy in Western Pennsylvania, okay? And I have one more. Penn Trafford. Same thing. 2 people you had to choose from. And they're the same people on both the Democratic and Republican ballot. And, well, it's a little more impressive. The guy who won got 4 votes. Zero, 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 zero. Hello, caller. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
How you doing today?
I'm fine.
Hey, this voting crap, what the good does it do, really? Think about it. All you do is prolong a war the Republicans might do when they get in there. You prolong the Social Security thing, and cutting Social Security and all that. Once in a while they get in there and they fuck it up anyway. So I don't understand the thing about voting, really. And then they pick they tell you who to vote for. It's all money that pushes those people in there. Even Obama, he came from, his grandfather, I'm almost positive, was a diplomat. He went to the best schools. He didn't go to a public school, went to a private school. The guy's a smart man, but it's all a bunch of bullshit. It kind of disgusts you about voting. I don't know. That's my opinion.
Boy, that's depressing.
It might sound depressing, but it does.
Truth. Okay, tell me to have a good day and then go away.
No, I won't tell you today. I will see it.
Okay, goodbye. Well, you have a good day then. And Russ emails, okay, I'll remove the I Heart Lynn Cullen Live bumper sticker on the back of my car. Very funny. Okay, one more, and then I got to take a break. Getting behind. Ray writes, Lynn, Kurt Vonnegut invented the word granfalloon as meaning a group of people who outwardly choose or claim to have a shared identity or purpose, but whose mutual association is actually meaningless. So that's it. It's why do people have the need to create these granfalloons? like Pittsburghers, that's a granfalloon, or Bostonians, or Penn State grads. It's been around forever. It just has to be, obviously, it's something tribal going on there, that somehow we have to think of ourselves as better in some way. But it becomes absurd on the national stage as we all sit and nod our heads, absolutely agree. Well, thank God that happened there in Oklahoma, where those Oklahomans are pluckier than anybody else. Well, thank God that happened in Boston, where those people are somehow blah, blah, blah. It's just stupid. Okay, back to Ray. A little story about random acts of ticket kindness. I have season pirate tickets, and on one occasion, I couldn't use two of the tickets next to my seat, so I walked up to a couple and gave them the tickets. At first pitch, two different people said they sold them on you. At first pitch, two different people sat down, and I asked where they got the tickets, and they said they bought them at the ticket counter? Oh, so the two, they didn't scalp them. They sold them back to the ballpark. Still, they went for the money. Isn't that weird? So you picked the wrong people, Ray. You see, if you'd picked the right people, they would have been so thrilled with your extraordinary, out-of-the-blue generosity that they would have penned a random acts of kindness little piece that would have been published, and you could have cut it out. They never tell the name of the do-gooders in this one, and I understand why. But that you could have cut that out and known that was you. But picked the wrong people. That is funny. All right. We all belong to a lot of granfalloons. I admit it. I even belong to some. Yes, I do. So I should just shut up. We're taking a break.
Stick around for more with Lynn Cullen Live after this.
Go to bergbargains.com for great deals on gift cards from your favorite local restaurants, bars, museums, attractions, and shows. Final week, 60% off vouchers for City Theaters Abigail. Bergbargains.com, Pittsburgh's best bargains. Bergbargains.com.
It's warming up outside, so get to Little's for all your spring needs. Little's has everything for men, women, and children to stay in style for this upcoming hot summer. Lots of great colors from Dansko, New Balance, Steve Madden, and much, much more. Don't forget to come visit this season's colorful handbag selection as well. Little Shoes, Pittsburgh's largest family shoe store, 5850 Forbes Avenue in Squirrel Hill.
You're listening to Lynn Cullen Live at pghcitypaper.com. Once again, here's Lynn Cullen.
Okay, so I don't even get this. Oh, I hate that when somebody sends me something that they know is funny and I don't get it.
Okay.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah.
Oh, Paul, I don't get it. He says, one of my favorite bumper stickers says, my child can spell honor student at blank high school. Jess doesn't get it either.
Right in their high school? I don't get it.
Paul! Why is that your favorite bumper sticker? We don't get it. Is it so clever that it's beyond us? Help me there. Obviously, my favorite is, my student can beat up your honor student, and ones like that. I love that. Now, I understand that when a parent puts that on their car, they're doing it not to brag about their kid, but to make their kid feel special. Like, I am so proud of you that here, I'm just going to sing it to the hills. But, it might be, rather than doing that, it might be a good opportunity to educate your child about humility and, not blowing your own horn. I would suggest that's the better lesson. Okay, and here's another, Lynn. I think you must be looking at the voting totals for the very small parts of those districts that are in Allegheny County, because the majority, the majority of Penn Trafford and Norwin are in Westmoreland? Yeah, but wouldn't one whole a section? I mean, whatever those votes were from. I mean, you mean Norwin straddles is in 2 different counties? That seems odd to me, but okay. In regard to Norwin, Russ writes, in Norwin, the 3 guys with no votes voted for the winner, who did not vote. He's figured out what the totals are. I don't know. But I'm still flummoxed. And Paul, let us know about that bumper sticker. Why don't we get it? And if anybody else gets it, let us know. I hate that. Okay, enough. Enough silliness, huh? Quickly. So, it says here that City Council President Darlene Harris last month switched her registration from Democratic to Independent. And she has confirmed that she did that, but she won't talk about why. And it's led to some speculation that she might be thinking about running as an independent in the general election. Go for it. Go for it, Ms. Harris. You got about as much chance as Jess would. Seriously, you got no chance at all. So, yeah, fine, go for it. Here's a disquieting little aside in the piece on Peduto the day after he won his long sought-after mayoralty, essentially. It says here, and I think this is sort of a cheap shot by the reporters. You tell me. Between mouthfuls of Doritos, the councilman discussed his long-sought victory Wednesday. Jess, what's your reaction to that? That's unnecessary. Tacky. It's not nice. It's a little... Because Bill is, well, he's plumped up a bit.
He has.
Yeah. And as somebody who plumps up with some regularity and then comes down and then plumps up and then comes down, I understand. But between mouthfuls of Doritos, the councilman discussed his victory. I would think is tantamount to what they do to women a lot, wearing a strawberry red suit and matching pumps. Her Honor said, blah, blah, blah. It's a piece of information that helps draw a picture, but I wonder if that's odd, because the rest of the story is totally dry. I mean, it is fact. And again, granted, eating Doritos is a fact too, but I don't know. And I know the guys who wrote it, James O'Toole and Joe Smido. What is it, guys? Which one of you did that, and why? Why? I actually share some pirate tickets with Joe Smido. Why, Joe? Say it on so, Joe. Okay, so, oh my God. What am I doing today? Just quickly on the race, too. He really cleaned up. He ran first in a number of the African-American wards, with 2 African Americans in the race. He ran first. The pasty, roly-poly white guy. And that's interesting, very interesting. He ran first in Homewood, in Lincoln Leamington. Jake Wheatley won the wards in his Hill district, but that's his base. That's where he comes from. But even there, Peduto was a close second. I mean, he was closing in everywhere. But listen to this, and here again, and especially you people in Norwin, you listen to this. It was the voters in Squirrel Hill, Point Breeze, Shadyside, and Highland Park. That is the East End. They're the ones who turned out. So, and they turned out in percentages unlike anywhere else in the city. Now, what does that say? They are more engaged. If you don't turn out, you cede the process, C-E-D-E, cede the process to those who do. So that and that's his base. That's Peduto's base. So in his base, you get extraordinary turnout. In fact, those voters in those 4 neighborhoods accounted for 25% of all votes cast. In the, let's see, in Highland Park, Peduto gets 67% of the vote. In Shadyside, he gets 77% of that vote, and it's a big vote. And in the 14th, which is Squirrel Hill, Point Breeze, he gets 78% of a large vote turnout. Then you take it to Jack Wagner, who lost, take it to his base in Beachview and his home ward, the 19th. He didn't do as well collecting the votes of his own people, and his own people didn't show up in the numbers. So both numbers are way down. He got 61% of the votes cast in his own neighborhood. Peduto was getting, in some cases, close to 80%. You ain't going to win. You ain't going to win. And you sure as hell ain't going to win if the people who maybe would vote for you can't get up off their duffs and go to the polls. Anyway. Okay. You know, I lost count. I've often said, and I hope I remember this number. Brian O'Neill in his piece today toted it up. Since 2007, so that's 6 years, do you know how many members of our state legislature have been convicted of a felony? It's unbelievable. I think. You ready? 22.
Jeez.
Oh, yeah, 22. And some of the highest uppers, I mean, like the heads of the Senate, the heads of the Assembly, the people who had power to abuse. A member of the Supreme Court, we're not even counting her in this because she's not in the legislature. Unbelievable. And that's because we're Pennsylvanians, and they don't make people like Pennsylvanians. If you want to join a granfalloon unlike any other granfalloon, then you want to be able to join ours and vote for those who will go to Harrisburg. Bumper sticker explanation, Paul. Thank you. That sticker was about low expectations. Check the verb. It doesn't say my child is an honor student. It says my child can spell honor student.
I still don't get it.
It means the kid is capable of spelling honor student.
So what?
Sorry, Paul. Jess says it's not funny. And Paul has written, I guess it wasn't as funny as I thought. Paul. All in the eye of the beholder. It must have gotten you at a perfect time. But we didn't yuck it up. Ray writes this, just when I thought I didn't need any more proof, Darlene Harris once again demonstrates evidence that she is completely insane. Independent my ass. Well, here's what I heard, though. She has a shot. Here's what she's thinking, assuming she is. Or here's what somebody told her. She is currently the president of city council. Luke Ravenstall, our boy mayor, will be in office until, January 1? When I think it's January 1 they swear him in. So let's say Luke gets collared by the feds. Yet another of our fine public servants in our granfalloon who maybe has run afoul of the law. We do not know. But he is being investigated by some federal types. So, if he disappears one way or the other, or if he simply resigns, because, total lame duck, has nothing else to do, he'd rather go fishing. Well, he can still be mayor and go fishing. God knows he's done that. But, so he would resign, let's say. Either way, if he doesn't fill out his full term, Darlene becomes the mayor before January 1. Darlene Harris would become the mayor. Now, if that happens before November, and Darlene Harris is the mayor, Mayor Harris, heading into the November general election, she might want to try to retain the seat she got as a gift from the departing Luke. And so she would be then positioned to run in the general as an independent and an incumbent. So that's probably what's going on there. Darlene Harris. Give me a break. I've been looking at her and shaking my head in disbelief since she sat on the school board. And now, geez. When you look at Darlene Harris, you think, man, we set the bar low. Wow. Okie doke. I got to take a break. We'll be right back.
More is on the way with Lynn Cullen Live.
This week's Pittsburgh City Paper is available now. Pick up one today for a look at how the sequester is harming local social service programs. Plus, Pyrofest, Marina and the Diamonds, Muckfest, and Joe Aiello. Pittsburgh City Paper, available at over 1,700 locations throughout Western Pennsylvania. And on the web at pghcitypaper.com. And on your smartphone with GPS-enabled listings at citypapermobile.com.
I personally am not going to tell you this again, okay? Paddle Without Pollution, that great nonprofit that tries through all volunteer efforts to keep our three rivers relatively clean, is holding an event. This would be like in 2 weeks, Saturday, the 8th of June. And you can sign up online at paddlewithoutpollution.com. And you just get in. They'll tell you where to go. And you get in a kayak, you get in a canoe, and you paddle, and you pick up all the garbage that other fine citizens of our granfalloon have tossed into our common waterways. And then at the end, you end up in Point State Park and you party. It sounds like a good way to have get some exercise, have a good time, and be a good citizen. So to register again, paddlewithoutpollution.com, and that is June 8th. I hope you do it.
Kids have the craziest ideas about food. Where do they get this stuff? Like eating Brussels sprouts helps you hit home runs. And eating carrots gives you X-ray vision. It's nuts. And I honestly have no idea where my daughter got this notion that broccoli is the official food of professional ballerinas. Kids, the only reason my 4-year-old loves cantaloupe is because he's convinced it comes from the moon.
One small step for man, lots of potassium for mankind.
And the other day when my oldest came up to me and said, "Mom, will eating peas and carrots really help me pull off a fakey frontside ollie with a twist?" I look him in the eye and say, "It can't hurt, honey. It can't hurt."
Moms everywhere are finding creative ways to help their kids eat 5 servings of fruit and vegetables a day. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
Now, it's back to Lynn Cullen Live at pghcitypaper.com.
Okie doke. I got to tell you, yesterday, I so want rain in my garden. And yesterday, I watch radar a lot. And it was, I don't know about your neighborhood, maybe you got it, because it was literally just skimming. Like, I think one block over got a ton of rain. You had so much rain? None. I mean, yes, overnight a little bit, but none. Yesterday afternoon, we got the dark sky, and we got the wind picking up, and we got 2 drops. 2 drops, and they were errant drops. They were supposed to be over one street over. And that happened. It would go just to the south. It would go just to the north. And I'm standing in my backyard saying, come! Here! Please! No. And I suppose more of the same today. Anyway. Okay, so did you hear about the 80-year-old Japanese guy who got to the top of Mount Everest yesterday? That's pretty amazing. And in fact, that's a world record. The oldest guy, a person before him was 76. A mere youngster. And this 80-year-old, get this, he broke his hip 2 years ago. What? Oh, man. You want plucky? This one's plucky. He broke his hip, and he also underwent heart surgery in January. I can just see the cardiologist say, so he has heart surgery. He says, I think in about 5 months I'm going to scale Mount Everest. He did. And he did it with his son, and his son was a doctor, so that's good. So if at least he had a doctor with him. To prepare, he walked 3 times a week with 66 pounds on his back. Wow. Some people. Amazing. All right, now I am gonna get to something that is awful. I had hoped to avoid it, but no. I have to talk about this latest wrinkle in terror attacks that we saw play out in London yesterday. This is a new wrinkle. And you tell me how you guard against that. How do you guard against 2 guys, or even one, pulling out a knife and just randomly attacking someone on the street and stabbing them to death? Now, what's fascinating about the way these 2 guys did this is they did it and then stood around talking to people with the body of this perfectly innocent person lying hacked there. And they wanted to explain themselves. And in doing so, they relied on passers-by with their smartphones to record their deed. And then, of course, that goes viral. So their little act is immediately broadcast worldwide, and I suspect strikes terror in some people's heart. It doesn't strike terror in my heart because this is one of those things where I think the odds of you being victimized in this way are pretty slim, and I would not lose sleep about it. However, there are people who freak constantly. One woman who was on a bus, don't know if you heard about her, that was stopped by the fact that there was a body lying in the street, and this is before the cops came. Those guys hung around for 20 minutes waiting for the police. Man, that is some great 20 minutes it took the cops to get to a murder in London, in the street, a guy lying in the street. But there's this 48-year-old woman on the bus that gets stopped by it all. She looks out the window and sees a body in the street. She's trained in first aid. She gets off the bus, goes immediately to the body, seeing if there's anything she can do to help. She ascertains there's nothing she can do, that this guy is dead. However, the 2 guys who just killed him are standing right there with their hands bloody. One's got a little machete and a knife. The other one's got a gun. And she looks up at them and says, "What have you done?" She's a mother, 48 years old. She gets off the bus, goes right to where these two guys are still holding their weapons, and says, "What have you done?" And they told her, they answered her, "Well, we just killed this guy because he is a British soldier, and he and his ilk are killing Muslim women and children, and we don't want that to continue, and we thought we'd do a little of the same thing here, so you guys could see what it's like in Afghanistan and what it's like in Iraq." And then he told her that they were waiting for the police to come and they were going to kill the police. And then she said, "Now, do you think that's reasonable?" I'm trying to imagine this scene. It's a body. There's two scary guys who just killed this person, and she's saying, "What have you done? And do you think that's reasonable?" And then she turned to the other guy who hadn't said anything, who she thought seemed sort of shy. He's the guy, by the way, that you see talking to the cell phone. And she said, "I asked him if he wanted to give me what he was holding in his hand, which was a knife, but I didn't want to say that." So she's this cool. She's thinking, I don't want to mention the word knife, but I am going to say, "Do you want to give me that?" So that's what she says. "Do you want to give me that?" And he said, "No, no, no." And she said that then she did not want to upset him. So she said she only tried to keep engaging them in conversation so they would remain calm themselves and not kill anyone else. But she puts herself right there as obviously the next victim. She finally saw she couldn't get anything more done with these guys, so she got back on the bus. Then the police come, and they shoot both of them. She saw that. And what kind of a person? Her name is Ingrid Loya Kennett. She lives in Cornwall, and she had been returning home from a trip in France. One cool customer. Okay, but so this horrific attack, and I'm fascinated by a few aspects of it. The total, happenstance of being a victim in an attack like that, and no way to guard against it. No way to guard against that, unless you can figure, unless you. I mean, there's no way. You can, through intelligence, find people that are maybe likely, but last time I looked, you can't round people up because of things they're thinking in their head, or maybe some non-criminal interest in certain subjects that they've exhibited in the past. Who knows? On the other hand, this guy who the FBI killed while interrogating him in Florida, who might be connected to the Boston, that's a fascinating thing, and now we'll never know what was going on there, will we? I wonder how many people completely buy that was a killing in self-defense. I wonder. And if there were two of them and one of him, there wasn't some way to subdue this guy without killing him? It seems like a botched deal to me, but then I wasn't there. And the only witnesses are two FBI agents, so I don't have a clue. Hang on here. Sorry. Okay. And you might have noted that Mr. Weiner's back. I think I mentioned this the other day. He announced his candidacy for mayor of New York City. Anthony Weiner, who resigned from his congressional seat after sending pictures of his package around to women who didn't even know him. So he announced by simply putting up a video on, I guess, on his Facebook page or something, Wednesday at midnight. And I love what Lawrence Downs writes in the op-ed section of the Post-Gazette, the New York Times. He says, well, the half-life of disgrace seems to be getting shorter. For Anthony Weiner, it has been 2 years almost to the day since he quit, and he's right back in. He's right back in. And by comparison, Mark Sanford showed genuine patience and true restraint because he took roughly 4 years to go from the disgraced governor of South Carolina, who was supposedly walking the Appalachian Trail, to the newest member of the United States Congress. But he he points out, too, that if you look at this Anthony Weiner, who presents himself with not much of an apology to the people of New York who don't want him, this guy sums it up this way. The new Anthony Weiner looks a lot like the old Anthony Weiner. Full of bluster, full of ideas, full of himself. But that's the case with all of these guys. They can't imagine that the rest of us can get along without him. So they have to put themselves back into the fray. Because where would we be without them? Okay, I think that'd be it. By the way, for those of you who were moved on Tuesday by the caller who called in to tell us that grief was a gift and not a medical condition, I have gotten in touch with her, and she will be a guest, and because you guys reacted very strongly to her. So she'll be here in about 2 weeks. Friday the 7th, I think it is. Okay? Just, what? No, that's okay?
It's okay.
Okay. No, Paddle Without Pollution is the next day, the 8th. Oh, that's not what you were talking about.
No.
That's not. Okay, so much for my ability to mind read. Anyway, toodaloo. Thanks for being here today. Tomorrow, just you and me again. We'll have some fun.
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper, Steel City Media, and its advertisers.